Hi everybody, I'm Jerome right here again, and you're with me on my Jeronification channel here on YouTube. Um, I'm here with a painting, as you know, that I'm able to decode ancient Renaissance artwork and paintings and decodings. In doing this, what I show is that there's references of genetic bloodlines and how these bloodlines were actually created through genetic manipulations, which later caused for, I guess you would want to say, mutated bloodlines and genetics, which were bridged off of our originating sources, which were that of ape, Africans, Asians, bloodlines and genetics that actually came before those that are depicted. And this is how we have all of our other likenesses of mankind. And a lot of these references are made in each and every ancient text and artwork, whether it be sculptures, building, which in this case is Cambodia, Angkor Wat. It's all being referenced. There was nothing more important than to our ancestors than who they genetically were, who and their genetic identity. And later, as I guess you want to, the Europeans and the Swiss, all of these people, specifically are ancient rooted Christianity based groups. These entities picked up where there was already an ancient thing happening with a cult-like thing happening with the way our bloodlines were being changed and being altered from their original origins. Okay, I can take this thing back before there was even a record, because I had a true paranormal experience and an encounter that lets me envision or lets me see what actually transpired to cause for all of this to happen in the first place. So even before all of these images, these paintings, and all these later records come, I am gifted to have to see what occurred and what is the true cause for mankind's existence. All right, now that I got past that struggle, these are not scripted videos either, people. These I'm just winging it. I'm just going for it. I was directed to the paintings by Franz Xaver, by fellow YouTube member Marco Polo. Okay, Marco Polo is what actually put me onto these paintings. He didn't specify anything that was going on with it. He just thought that they were unusual and asked me. I guess it was his way of asking me what was going on. I'm going to message him later and let him know, because he don't even know that I'm making this video. And I'm going to message him later and tell him to to look at what he inspired me to find and do. Okay. Every once in a while, a person would do that, wondering what like, what's happening? I mean, what is going on? There's something about this painting, but I just can't figure out what it is. However, let me show you what's happening here. This family, which is the royal family, the Winterhalter family, the royal Winterhalter family, and with Queen Victoria. I guess that's who that would be there. But anyway, this painting is from 1846 to 1846. It's showing you a royal bloodline that's created by genetic bridgings that involved several creatures, that of mankind and that of animals, and where these bloodlines actually went, and the results of these bloodlines. All of that stated in this painting, which you can't see. Let me show you what's going on here. Okay, now I'm gonna take you way beyond this painting to make some very, very interesting points. First, I'm going to take you over here. Let's go to the girls. Well, no, I'm going to start from this side. Alright, then I'm going to come to this side, because this is going to branch me off somewhere else. let's start over here at the boy. Showing you he was bridged over. What was he bridged over? He was bridged over his mother and the creature that's actually in between here. What creature is there? If you look closely, right in here, there's the head of a hippopotamus. Right there. Representing that of a reptilian bloodline, as they're showing an extension of ancient genetics, which is reptilian bloodline, which represents that of, i.e., the dinosaur. Okay? There's a bridging there. There's the hippo. Now, come on over. Right here. There's a face of a screaming, I would like to call it a screaming cat. Right here, underneath this underarm. And I'm going to tell you where that's coming from. Because there was another bridging, well, a couple bridgings, that was here, because here, hidden behind this hand right here, is at the face of our ape, which represents that of black men, Africans, bridged over. Okay? Now, come on over here. Again, this guy signifying that he was bridged over the cat, which represents that of the lion. Right there, on the edge of the chair right here. That's another encryption style. Right there. He's bridged over. That's why his arm is held out in the fashion that it is. Now, those genes are actually bridged over his own daughters. Family members bridged over family members and these creatures to create new bloodlines. Now, let's go over here to the daughters. You have 3 daughters, and look, 2 of them almost seemingly twins, bridged over the baby. Notice her arm bridged over this way. Guess what she's bridged over? If you look down here, encrypted, right there, there's the image of a pig. And on the back of the pig is the image of an ape. Representing those 2 bloodlines. The ape and the pig. Now, it gets more interesting than that, because it just doesn't stop there. Now, notice that the baby is draped or wrapped in a pig blanket kind of way. Well, it's a pig in a blanket, so to speak, and a robe. It's my position that this robe and this part of the pillow, which cleverly creates tasseling or so, represents the scarf of a pope of that era. And this is why this is looking the way that it does. Now, mind you, I see that this is now I showed you a pig encrypted in a pillow. It's my position that this is the scarf, the scarfing. I forget what they call that thing that the Pope here. Let me see. It's my position that that's a representation of this and the Pope's robe, showing you that these royal families, and this is a long-standing claim of mine, that popes and royal families are in unison of altering the genetics of mankind. Cross-referencing, and that's what the cross is all about. Now, I want to show you something now that I brought that up. Once I realized that this was a pope's gown, a pope's scarf, all I had to do was just Google popes for that 1800 century era. And let me see here. This is Pius I think the 6th. And long and behold, these same, the clothing, the cloaks, the scarves, all come up identical to what is here. Now, who is this guy? I think this is Pius the 11th. What is that? The 10th, the 12th, whatever that is. I'm not good with my Roman numerals, people. So just bear. Oh, hold on, I'm zoomed in. Now, I'm going to show you something about this. And not only am I a hit on this right here on the clothing. Let me show you something about this. Because back then, these popes candidly did the finger thing with the 2 fingers up. You see that symbolization right there? Well, long and behold, he cleverly held up 2 fingers as well, letting you know that these genes were bridged over, in fact, through the seated pope at that time and this royal family. Almost like a gang sign. I'm going to show you something else about that, so I'm going to keep on going. I also did another guy from that. Here's Napoleon I from that era. In case for those of you that are wondering, how can a pope be bridged over a royal family? Here's Napoleon I. I think the first ruler of the French Empire, if I'm correct. I might be wrong about that, but whatever. Notice this guy standing here again, almost clad in the same, almost garb. Notice that he's got his arm extended out like a statue, stating that he's bridged over the cross. The cross is a representation of Christianity. He's bridged over, crossed over. Genetically, and this is what this is all about. What is he crossed over with? These clothings are a representation of semen, which is in the white, and then the red is a representation of the blood, and Christianity is a representation of the green, which is that of reptilian. Let me keep going. Here's Napoleon, I believe, the 3rd, and he's the French Empire between 1852 and 1870. He's the nephew of Napoleon I and the cousin of Napoleon II. Now this robe has almost identifying marks as this one as well. Here's another one. I like this because notice he has the hand out with the 2 on the end, and because this is a symbol that I'm going to show you that's actually with the French symbol. I'm going to show you something. You see that hand with the glove on and the 2 fingers out? Notice that it's cleverly crossed over, showing you that it's crossed over there. Again, there you go. Is that a cross on the top? Let me see. I want to make sure before I actually state that. Yeah, the cross symbol on the top of the crown. The same exact thing. The cross symbol on the top of the crown here. Crossed over. Cross reference, rather. Genetically. this is what this is all about. Now, I brought up the mention of that symbol. So let me show you something here. Oh, hold on. Let me show you some more popes before I keep going here. Where we at here? Yeah, let me just show you this. Yeah, I'm going to show you some more. I'm going to show you some more popes here from that time. This is Pope Pius the. I really don't know these Roman numerals, but it's from his papacy was from 1846 to 1878. Just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about with the robes, the garbs, and the wardrobes of these popes in comparison to what's actually there. And it's showing you how these bloodlines were created and whom actually contributed. Okay, I just wanted to actually show you that. And then look how I can't even show you that creature that's actually there. But anyway, the color codes actually references the trail of these bloodlines. That's what I'm actually I'm driving at here. Now, I want to show you something about this symbol, this French symbol. Oh, before I do that, well, yeah, let me show you. I'm gonna show you this French symbol. Now, this is what the French symbol looks like today. It's the coat of arms of the Second French Empire, 1852 to 1870. There's the royal crown with the cross at the top. Oh, now, keep in mind now, people, that all of this is referencing the cross-referencing of genetics. You have the royal figure here. And then you have the glove with the two fingers out, which represents papacy. Then you have the eagle. And this creature is the bird, which is a representation of that of our ancient dinosaur, showing you that there was a cross reference with these creatures. And now the bloodlines are secured in royalty. Land animals, and the blue background represents the oceans of our planet. All the elements from which we had actually evolved are encrypted and encoded in this seal. Now, here's another implication of that. These insignias are global, on multiple continents. If you were to Google this, I forget it's the coronation. I don't know if this is the coronation symbol or whatever. But if you that symbol, it comes up. I mean, it almost seems like it's endless. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. The cross contaminations of, the cross referencing of these genetics that were created here. There's a record of contamination globally that can be followed. I guess that's a better way of stating it. Now I want to show you something else. Oh, now I was running out of ink here, but let me put this back up here. I want to show you something else about this. That symbol that I just told you is right here. Everywhere. They even have flags holding that symbol, those symbols up in the blue. And even this guy has it wrapped up, and look how he cleverly looks at you like, yeah, yeah, this is what I'm using to carry off to the rest of the world, to contaminate the world. Look at this guy kneeling, being coronated, or whatever you call it, coronation, or whatever that's called. Now, what's important about this is that this shows, you notice that the Popal figure here, the clergy, has the white glove on with the two fingers out. You see that? This guy is telling you back in the 18th century that he is a contributing, cross-referencing to the royal bloodlines. He's a contributing factor. And that's why they show the Popal hand, which I'm telling you that's what that is with the two fingers out, as being cross-referenced over royal bloodlines, which means that children not only carry bloodlines of that of the royalty, but also of that of those that are created through Christianity. It's my position that back in the day, miracle babies, when we were foolish enough to not understand, miracle babies could pop up, and this is why you had these miracle babies popping up in these ancient text stories, these ancient biblical stories. But as mankind evolved and got brighter, they had to change this around. They had to change that scenario around, because look, people are not going to keep buying the story about these miracle babies popping up. So what do? They create this scenario where now they have these virgins, which are their nuns. Then they have these priests, which all of these bloodlines and all of these scenarios are created by these people, the royalty, and by the Vatican, and I mean Christian, these religious groups. They're all controlled genetic manipulations and bridging scenarios. So now they can create these bloodlines and make these babies happen, and these people will be the ones to get the babies. So you have a scenario now where popes they have their own hospitals. They're so entrenched in power that a baby can be created by a nun and a pope and given here, and you would not even know it. And these couple could say, this is our baby. It can be totally faked in a way that now we have this miracle baby, but these are the people. It's not a miracle baby, because these are the people that actually, this is their baby. You see what I'm saying? There's a scenario that where it's not questioned because it's not suspected. But now that I'm drawing this scenario for you, now you can look at this in the way that it truly is. And this is why these people do not find their way. I mean, they enjoy a level of comfort and security and of knowledge that allows for all of this to occur. This boy could easily be a child of a pope and a nun, but raised by this royal family, in other words, through bloodlines that were created through all of the ways that I have just now told you, through these animals that are shown through genetic bridgings from the original origins of mankind. And this is why we have these variations in who we are today as in these cultural groups, because of these genetic bridgings and manipulations. There is a precise record. Okay, it is so, this finding is so enormous and so never ending. I would need a team of experts from here to February to try to sort through all of this and put them on a trail to understand what is actually has happened with mankind's genes. All right, let me get out of that because I'm losing train of thought. So I'm claiming that this symbol with the bird represents that at one point or another there was a genetic bridging, and it references how mankind was genetically bridged over this bird, and this is why this bird is being symbolized. Not specifically the eagle, but the ancient history of the eagle, which is that in reference to that of our dinosaur. So, where is a record of that? How can I prove that? Well, the fact of the matter is that everything that I have is factual. So therefore, the records are there. You just have to you have to know where they are. Like, I'm instinctively drawn to them. I can give you one. For example, I ran out of ink on, where's Napoleon at? Oh, here he is here. On that first Napoleon, I did so many copies that I ran out of ink. However, I do have enough to if you what image is this? I do not have it labeled. This is a painting of Napoleon where I was running out of ink. Okay? But if you Google the first Napoleon, you would actually come up with this. I was running out of ink. But I want to draw your attention to two things about this image. Number one is in this paper over here that's on the desk. His sword is right there. Okay? On the paper, if you pan in on it, enlarge it, and come up, you know what's written on the paper in large letters? A word. You know what the word is? It's spelled C-O-D-E. And you know what that spells out? Code on the paper. It's amazing because all of this is referencing a genetic code. Everything about this royalty, this ancient history, that's what this is all. This is what I'm stating, that this is all referencing, and this is the reason why they're striking these uncanny poses and making these gestures with their body and these postures. I mean, like right now, his hand is tucked in behind his shirt area. It's my position that behind there, automatically his hand is hidden, because you know why? Because he has two fingers out. And this is the reason why his hand is hidden. Over here, he's clutching tightly a cylinder type object. And on here in this paper is written code, and it's my position that his colors represents the genetic bloodline that he's referencing. However, there's more to this. Back here, there's a bird at the founding area of this symbol right here. Right down there. There's a bird. Now I want to show you something. Now it's my position that that bird represents a genetic contamination of mankind's genetics. And this is showing that it's a cross-reference. Now, I'm not saying this specific bird, which is the eagle. I'm saying the family of the eagle, which stems back to that of our prehistoric times, is what they are referencing by the symbol of the bird. So, therefore, if I'm stating that mankind has been bridged over utilizing these genetics, then the code is that Napoleon is referencing here is hidden right here in this backdrop here. Check this out on the wall. There is the eagle right there. This is on the wall now. That's in that same picture with Napoleon. I was running out of ink again. That's why we have these lines. We all know that the flower, the roots of the flowers of life, all are a representation of that of the tree of life. Now the bird is here at the bottom, propped over the founding stone, and lo and behold, you follow this flower up and up and up and up and up, and what do we have? The likeness of mankind with wings sprouting from his head with the flower. See that? A hidden message. Look, there's that bird, which represents the ancient founding stones that mankind were created from, the prehistoric creature of the dinosaur, and showing you that through that life, a bridging, they're called a genetic mutation, with that of mankind. These same encryptions, or not even encryptions, these same messages are with that of our ancient Egyptian glyphs, about these half bird, half man creatures, half alligator, half man creatures. These creatures are referenced because this is how we got from our ape, black African ancestry to that of all of these different likenesses that we have today. And these references, people, are made globally. This is what this is all about. Now, here's another painting of this royal family. And again, people, why would we have this guy with his leg propped between two dogs on a black pillow? Two black dogs, spotted, mind you. Well, the one with the two different bloodlines of dogs, facing his wife, who has a flower in her hand with all of the colors referencing everything that is here. But what's more disturbing about all of this is these dead, I guess they're mallard ducks, different breeds of ducks on the floor. Then we have another two pups, one facing the girl, then there, and the little girl holding the bird, at a bird with blood coming from it. They make that point very clear, the blood, and it's showing you a bridging. Look, a bridging. And what's disturbing about this is that they have this little girl, royal girl, here at these dead birds. What is the message behind this? Now check this out. Let me take you someplace realistically, because I'm telling you that this is all referencing genetic bridging. In fact, these animals are animals that are even referenced in the images of the Garden of Eden. This in the same exact form. If you didn't see my video here, you have to see my other videos, people. These images, because you'll see why the references of these dogs are actually being referenced. These are genetic bridgings that show you how we got from the likenesses of that of our ape ancestor, our African ancestor, to these likenesses. And this is what's being referenced, how these new bloodlines were created. And these royal families, and that with ancient rooted Christianity, have these meticulously kept records to show you how it was all done. Now, I'm gonna point out some interesting facts about this. Who would in their right mind have dead ducks laying on their very expensive furniture, their very expensive carpentry, and then have not just the disease and that comes from foul and all that, to have their child in a room and their dogs in a room with these dead creatures, bleeding and dead from just being apparently being hunted? You know why? Because this is not referencing a physical hunt. This is representing a genetical hunt, meaning that these creatures were bridged over, not these creatures, but the ancestry of these creatures, and were defeated, and a new genetic was created, a new gene was created, new bloodlines were created, and the end results they're showing you of what's actually happened here. This little girl is carrying a new bloodline. And this is what this is all about. They were bridged over, these creatures, and a new bloodline through their child. Here they're showing you that, look, a new creature is created. Death and resurrection is what is being stated here. In each and every one of these bizarre paintings, because they are bizarre, these references are being made. And all you have to do is Google this image. And that is why you have a head of a hippo there. The heads of apes, the heads of cats, the bodies of pigs and apes together, the robes of popes, and all of these references that I have just told you of these genetic bridgings. This is why this artwork was important, because you know why? These people are boasting of the bloodlines that they created through genetic manipulation and altering of mankind's genes from that of their original states, which was that of ape, African, and how they were created. This is what they are boasting of. It's not just them though. It's every ancient civilization is referencing the same thing. They're showing you how they created their own bloodlines that calls for the likenesses of who they are today. My name is Jerome Wright. You're watching my Jeromeification channel. Hold on. I'm not gonna end yet, because I just looked over and seen that there is something that I forgot to put in here. I'm gonna end this video with this. How I knew when I seen this image, the first thing that I saw when my attention was called to this image, this painting by Marco Polo, a fellow a YouTube member. He directed me to the painting itself, and I took off from there. I told him that I seen encryptions in there, and I think I told him I seen the hippo, and my message to him. He did not confirm or deny. He didn't say anything. He told me that there was some paintings that he seen things in. Okay? And I have that message actually saved. However, he said I think he said he's seen apes and snakes or something in a couple. I don't know where. He didn't specify. Oh, he said he named the paintings that he actually seen them in. Alright, but however, how I knew that automatically that this was a pope's robe, or clergy robe, is because once I seen the pig here and the likeness of an ape on the other end of the pig, I knew this image, because I've seen, and them sitting on over or being bridged over, I've seen this image before, right here. And then on this chair here, there's a paw of a lion. When I seen this together, I knew exactly what it was. And how I knew exactly what it was is because this was one of my encryptions that I've decoded those files I think almost 2 years now ago, or 2.5 years ago, and it's on my alien UFO site. And I actually probably even made a video of it here as well too. That encryption is right here in this image, in the glorification of the higher horse. That painting, and you see that with the images and so-called likenesses of Jesus and God up here, and here at the bottom, these are all my encryptions that I took from that. I'm going to show you something. This clergy right here is sitting on a bench, and the bench is in the form of the head of a pig, which is identical to what is actually being stated here. That's how I knew that this robe represented that of clergy, because of this. Now, you can check this. Now, I see a cat here. That's why I actually put that cat there laid across the line, in which the cat actually appears here, and here, and then the lines pause. Now check this out. There's a line there. That's how I knew that these line pause were a representation of that as being bridged over as well. Shows you a breakdown in these genetics, not just of mankind, but actually also of animal kind. Now, in this glorification image, if you come in, this glorification in Ironhearts, this lion has two faces. It has its own face, and then coming in from the, I guess that would be the left cheek of the lion, is the face of mankind. If you look here, right there, there's a face, right there, of man emerging from that of lion. And there's the forehead, which would be there. In fact, I see another face actually right in there I didn't even see before. There's a face in the forehead right there. Right there. I didn't even see that face before. Right there. Of a woman. A witch-like woman. God's up as the mother of creation. There's the eye and all. But I didn't even know that there's a man and a woman right here. Now that I see that, there's a man right here in the face of the lion. In the half face of a lion. Right there. There's his mouth going that way. Here's coming over his top lip. His nose is shared with the nose of the lion. And it's showing you how that's going up. But there's also a woman. A likeness of a man and a woman in the half face of the lion. Through these genetic bridgings and going over. Now you're probably saying, well, since I have this image up, let me share some of the other stuff. Now I have the video here with you. And this Pope, the Pope has, I think, 5 or 6 different faces. You have to see this to believe it. See my video. There's his clothing represents that of the megalodon shark, which is another creature that we were genetically bridged over. There's a mutation of a reptilian-like being that's actually encrypted, and then that of the serpent shows you these genetic genes that actually were created. The way this Pope in the back, this clergy, I think it might be a cardinal the way he's dressed, I don't know, but however, it creates the way he's standing, his body is positioned, they come together to create the head of that of a pig. And the pig has a building block in its mouth. Okay? There's a man standing there, but his body positioning creates this likeness right there. The way they are positioned. In the dark and shaded areas are that of our African ancestors. You will see the faces just as I have them highlighted here, people. Let's come over here to this side. Down here on the lower end, you will see the body of that and the likeness of that of a seal, a dinosaur, alongside of that of which I see, which is the behemoth, which represents in our ancient mythical times, I think the Levitron and the behemoth. This Pope-like figure, clergy-like figure, its body creates that of a swordfish, which is right here. Let's go up here. Oh, there's a serpent right there. The head of a serpent, nostril, mouth. And over here, this cardinal, the way his body is created, his clothing creates the face of a pig. There's the cardinal's head, and the way his hat is on his body comes back, it creates the ear of the pig. Now, let's come down here to this Pope-like figure. Our ancient ancestor, the whale, is right here. The hand comes up into the mouth. It shows you the bloodline taken out of the whale into the man. You see that? I drew the whale's body out. See that? This Pope's cap has the image of a shark encrypted into it. Now, where did all this come from? They're showing you from space. These bloodlines were created. I mean, these existences were created in space. Now, This whole entire image can be read both ways. In the darkened areas, you see the ancestors from that from which we evolved, and here, and over here, which from that of ape and that of black man. Africans, rather. I gotta stop saying black man. Africans. They came from space rock. When you turn the image upside down, it creates the face. I have this drawn out on other. This is not the one that I drew this out on, I don't believe. But they show you the crying eyes. There's the forehead, there's an eye, and there's an eye. And it creates that, the face, the tears from which life was formed. And this here, the whole thing is a face. I have this drawn out, and this is symbolizing, in my mind, that of that god that was mentioned, Shiva, the Hindu god Shiva. Through his tears, man was created. See the eye there? There's an eye here, and it shows you through the tears on each side these different genetics which were created. Here's the bottom chin, and the mouth is across here, and the nose is there. Now I have other stuff on here, but I have the face drawn out on another video of mine. So I have the face drawn out. In fact, I may have it there, but anyway, that's, people, is what is happening. This is what is actually happening. And what is actually being said here is also being symbolized in here as well too, in these comments. These bloodlines are what this is all about, people, and how they were created. I'm going to try to have that image there. Probably don't. I'm not even going to try to look for it. Do I have it there? No. That's what that's all about. These bloodlines. And what's happening is that we are being doped into believing that these divine entities created us. Do I have that? I'm looking for that. And I can't find it now. But anyway, I'm going to let it go, because I'm not even trying to do that. But anyway, this is what this is all about. Okay? And it's also my position that, you know who else is linked to this? With that white glove and all of that stuff going on. Where's that other image at? I'm going to tell you that who else is linked to this. Oh, I didn't even finish explaining this. I got a few minutes. Everybody standing in this room, genetically. Look at this as everybody standing in this room genetically. Now look at the room now, mind you. All of this, the flooring, the walls, and everything has this French symbol everywhere. So now, you're standing in this genetic bloodline, which I know what it is, by the way. Everybody, look at this as a genetic vein, a genetic artery. Now, all of this cocktail of genetics, they're telling you, people, that all of these genetics were entwined in one. And this person now, which y'all believe are being crowned, which in a sense is being crowned, but being crowned genetically, being coveted with the genes of everyone that is standing here. This person is being, in a sense, baptized genetically by all of these people, covenanted in all of these genes that were created in a cauldron cocktail, cult-like way. And that's what this is all about. Now, this person cleverly looking at you with that smirk on his face and that cunning look is saying that now that this new genetic was created, we're taking this out to contaminate the rest of the world with. As it is the will of God, under the guise of God, under the guise of Christianity, under the guise of royalty, under the guise of religion. they're contaminating our genes through what this process is, what they actually have created. And then I keep telling you, this is why that in the end, after living such a righteous life, our popes end up looking like the creatures they are. And I put the cross there because it's signifying that he's cross-referenced, which the cross really means. I showed you the little demonic figure right there. Cross-referencing of mankind's genes, mankind's genetics. The Vatican is the center point of our genes being cross-referenced. And through their ancient rooted cult-like system of genetically altering who we are, they created lines of division globally. Segregation of all people of different culture groups. Segregation just so these genetic bridgings and manipulations can occur. Now, in all of these lines of divide, let's just say they are the only ones that can cross all lines of division. The Pope was I just seen where the Pope was parading down the streets of Cuba, and there's an embargo on Cuba. But these people, where Cuba is at odds with practically all parts of our world, these people can cross that line of divide. Japan, these people can go. Wherever there is divide and unwelcoming of the rest of the world, these people can go there. And unbeknownst to those that where this man is traveling, he is genetically contaminating them. Through a process of where these genes are being created and these genetics are being created through a genetic manipulation process that calls for death, resurrection, and the reemergence and reintroduction of genes that were created in a cult-like way. This is why people, these scenarios are they where they are. One can only wonder, why are they wearing these outfits? Why is this practice still being initiated and shown in the same exact way and demonstrated in the same exact way? It's an ancient cult-like ritual that actually calls for this to occur, people. And this is why you have your clergy hanging on to symbols and things of this nature, like such. There's a pope in the background, by the way, with a skull. These people are showing you that they are as caught as they come. Oh, this is what I wanted to show you about this wind trap. About this here and the way these robes are set up. Here's a pope here, and this is the Satan the Devils, 1435 to 1498 by Michael Patcher, and it's on display at the Alte Paneca in Urich in Green Urich or something, whatever. But this is what this is all about. How these artists actually know. Here's again the robe. You see what's in the tasseling of the robe? This here is of the reptilian, the snake. That's what this is symbolizing. The snake, the body of the snake, the reptile. And lo and behold, there's a reptilian standing in front of him in this gothic scenario. And what does it shows you? Genes being bridged over. And here you have, back here, genes going off in directions. And this is why you see a lady on a railing in black. This is bridging. Look, showing you bridge from this side where the Pope is at to this reptilian. See it going towards the reptilian? This is the encryption style that Mr. Patcher is utilizing here in this painting. And then you have one laid down on the railing like he's dead. Death, resurrection, and look, crossed over that of our black ancestors. And this is why this is representing that of a black woman, representing genetically bridged over blacks. And look, a new bloodline created. You see, one bloodline laid to rest, bridged over blacks. This is what this is a symbolization of, and a new bloodline created. And look, and the bridge is representing that of a reptilian bridging. And this is why this Pope is standing here. And again, with the do he have the two fingers out here? I can't see that from upside down. Is it two fingers up? Okay, showing you these genetic bridgings, the symbolization of it, and all of this is the same message, pretty much, that's being stated here. And utilizing that of children. New bloodlines being created through these genetic bridgings. Look at that. All of that in this message. My name is Jerome Wright. I made this video a whole hour. I didn't think I would be doing that, but anyway, I'm going to let that go. But if you were to look at this guy's paintings, Franz Xaver paintings, you will see similar encryptions. And I'm telling you, what they are referencing is that of reptilian. I'm telling you that the white is representing as covenanted in semen. The red is representing as covenanted in blood. The green is representing as that is covenanted in reptilian, and the black is representing that of our black ancestors, our black ancestral roots, covenanted in the genetics of those genetics, covenanted in those genetics, which were the ones that they are overcoming in the first place. It's representing how white came from black, and the creatures that are encrypted, the hippo here, under her underarm right there, which you will realize is there now that I showed it to you. These cat creatures there, the ape image there, the lion, look for them, this encryption style here, the furniture that they're sitting on, meaning that they're bridged over that creature. That's the cat. The lion paws over here on the furniture. All of these people are encryption style that were utilized here with the pig. Now, makes you wonder now, doesn't this realize now, people, that, well, this is a creature, though, that we evolved from, actually, believe it or not, the pig and the hog, the hippo, all of these creatures, I mean, actually the triceratops, as they have it in Angkor Wat. I can show you the creatures in that as well too, that helped cause for our creation. There are creatures there that there's a message there on that board, I mean on that stone glyph there on that wall, that shows the creatures, the mutations from which we evolved via the help of the contributing genetics of the triceratops. It's right there. It shows you. And that's what this is all symbolizing as well too. Angkor Wat has that message of how mankind was bridged over that of the triceratops genetics. So it's all shown there. There's mutations there on that wall as well too that symbolizes that. But these people knew that and had the knowledge of that, and shows you that these creatures, which evolved through the likeness of the triceratops, like the hippo and these other creatures, the pig, they knew their bloodline. So therefore, this is how they knew how to genetically bridge themselves over these creatures' genes. And through the origins of that of mankind, which were that of black African people and ape. They knew who they were genetically, and this is why this was allowed to go on and happen in a cult-like way, while others, so many, were kept in the dark for the obvious reasons. My name is Jerome Wright. I'm ending this video there. You're watching my Dronification channel. You can also see me on Alien UFOs, Dreams and Experiences. I am an alien, so are you, is the title of my forum there. I'm out. Hi everybody, I'm Jerome right here again, and you're with me on my Dronification channel here on YouTube. I'm here with a painting, as you know, that I'm able to decode ancient Renaissance artwork and paintings and decodings. In doing this, what I show is that there's references of genetic bloodlines and how these bloodlines were actually created through genetic manipulations, which later caused for, I guess you would want to say, mutated bloodlines and genetics, which were bridged off of our originating sources, which were that of ape, Africans, Asians, bloodlines and genetics that actually came before those that are depicted. And this is how we have all of our other likenesses of mankind. And a lot of these references are made in each and every ancient text and artwork, whether it be sculptures, buildings, which in this case is Cambodia, Angkor Wat. It's actually in between here. What creature is there? If you look closely, right in here, there's the head of a hippopotamus. Right there. Representing that of a reptilian bloodline, as they're showing an extension of ancient genetics, which is reptilian bloodline, which represents that of, i.e., the dinosaur. Okay? There's a bridging there. There's the hippo. Now, come on over. Right here. There's a face of a screaming, I would like to call it a screaming cat. Right here, underneath this underarm. And I'm going to tell you where that's coming from. Because there was another bridging, well, a couple bridgings, that was here, because here, hidden behind this hand right here, is at the face of our ape, which represents that of black men, Africans, bridged over. Okay? Now, come on over here. It's showing you a royal bloodline that's created by genetic bridgings that involved several creatures, that of mankind and that of animals, and where these bloodlines actually went, and the results of these bloodlines. All of that stated in this painting, which you can't see. Let me show you what's going on here. Okay, now I'm gonna take you way beyond this painting to make some very, very interesting points. First, I'm going to take you over here. Let's go to the girls. Well, no, I'm going to start from this side. Alright, then I'm going to come to this side because this is going to branch me off somewhere else. Let's start over here at the boy. Showing you he was bridged over. What was he bridged over? He was bridged over his mother and the creature that's it's all being referenced. There was nothing more important than to our ancestors than who they genetically were, who and their genetic identity. And later, as I guess you want to, the Europeans and the Swiss, all of these people, specifically are ancient rooted Christianity based groups. These entities picked up where there was already an ancient thing happening with us, a cult-like thing happening with the way our bloodlines were being changed and being altered from their original origins. Okay, I can take this thing back before there was even a record, because I had a true paranormal experience and an encounter that lets me envision, or lets me see what actually transpired to cause for all of this to happen in the first place. So even before all of these images, these paintings, and all these later records come, I am gifted to have to see what occurred and what is the true cause for mankind's existence. Alright, now that I got past that struggle, these are not scripted videos either, people. These I'm just winging it. I'm just going for it. I was directed to the paintings by Franz Xaver, by fellow YouTube member Marco Polo. Okay, Marco Polo is what actually put me onto these paintings. He didn't specify anything that was going on with it. He just thought that they were unusual and asked me. I guess it was his way of asking me what was going on. I'm going to message him later and let him know, because he don't even know that I'm making this video. And I'm going to message him later and tell him to to look at what he inspired me to find and do. Okay. Every once in a while, a person would do that, wondering what's happening. I mean, what is going on? There's something about this painting, but I just can't figure out what it is. However, let me show you what's happening here. This family, which is the royal family, the Winterhalter family, the royal Winterhalter family, and with Queen Victoria. I guess that's who that would be there. But anyway, this painting is from 1846 to 1846.